in the early game. And if this is going to trend toward being a more proactive early game oriented series, which I do think it's going to be, with C9 looking for a team fight oriented comp with the Orianna, I think it actually makes sense to look for either side of that and say, hey, we're actually okay with the Leona. We don't need to prioritize Braum on the first pick.
And I love, this is the first time that Closer's gonna get the Viego. And so while that Orianna priority has flown up the charts, it comes at a cost. That this is something that I think was identified early on in the series. Can't give this to Closer. Now you're saying, well, maybe we have to. And you saw them take as long as they could because there was a big conversation between Reaper and Abeddage there about what he wanted to pick into the first pick Ori.
Yeah, and we might just see a response in Braum from Cloud9's side. In the end of the day, like, if you're going Ryze and Viego, really short-range composition, especially with the Viego trying to dive into you. With the Syndra ban, you fully knew that it was going to be a Ryze pickup from 100 Thieves. They tend to blind it pretty frequently. So Cloud9 is trying to just get the Orianna out of the way, counterpick the rest.
Yeah, both very comfortable picks, though, for 100 Thieves when it comes to the Viego and the Ryze. And in all honesty, wasn't crazy impressed by Abeddage's performance on the Orianna through the initial games of the series. And so happy to see him make the swap, but it's the Lee Sin followed by that Gangplank for Cloud9 in response.
I love the Gangplank from C9, even if you're going to blind pick it, because you know Ssumday's not going to counter it. He hasn't shown us an Aurelia. I don't know if he has a pick like Cho'Gath available, but I haven't seen any evidence of it. And this is a pick that allows Fudge to consistently have impact from top lane. And no matter what, he's going to be a threat into coming into a later game. And also, if 100 Thieves is going to pick Varus and Ryze into that, they have now immobile carries who have to deal with a GPL consistently.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like, this is just a great call out from C9 because in the past, it was either being picked up at third on red side just so they can ultimately ban the Aurelia or the Jace that makes it difficult for the GP. But this case, they just know what 100 Thieves is going to do. They're still going to have top lane on 4-5, though.
Yeah, so this is what's interesting because you have the mismatch situation between the AD carries and the top lanes. And will some C9 ban the Gnar and the Ornn, which are probably the two most expected Ssumday counter picks into it, while 100 Thieves pinches that AD carry pool? We talked about how good Zven was on the Varus, even in the losses. You can see 100 Thieves kind of respecting that with the takeaway, and then also banning out some of those matchups that he might have struggled in if it was going to get into volatile all-in bot lane with Kalista and stuff.
One problem I'll see from 100 Thieves, I think they're forced to actually have a side lane threat like Jace. Because right now they have Ryze, teamfight, into just exceptional range from C9 in the Orianna GP. I think it's really difficult from 100 Thieves to follow up anything that Viego tries to go for. It's just going to make it for a hard, difficult team fight. So I would love to see Ssumday on something different that puts him on side lane. He's not going to have his picks like the Gnar or Renekton or the Jace. Woo. So it is going to be a tough one. He might just default to Ornn.
I think he will. Yeah, and I like them taking Leona here because I think if you were to give the Leona over to C9, now you're in a situation where you have Oriel, you have Lee Sin going in, and you have GPL dropping down on your head. So I think this makes a lot more sense, and it also gives them proactive options early game if they want to look for having Huhi leave the lane and look for skirmishes mid.
I think it also works with the Braum ban because you don't want to play Braum, this short-range comp, into their long-range comp with that much disengage. As you heard Raz talking about, Ryze, Viego, all kind of going in. If you play that into Braum, you're gonna have a bad time. So that worked in two angles, you know, supporting your own bot lane pick while denying a team comp situation.
Yeah. Ashe going the other way this time around. What do we make of that? No Tristana with it available.
Yeah, I think it's probably the right choice because you're trying to, in my mind, play towards topside early, and then when you hit 6, then try and funnel plays towards Zven. So I think the utility bot side is going to be incredibly helpful in team fights where you don't necessarily have that team fight, you know, point and click engage. I know Closer and Blaber have had exceptional Lee Sin kicks, but this one makes it easier.
And I think, you know, you'd look at Jhin as a potential other option that we have seen Zven play, but you're expecting the Ornn pick. And you do not want to be picking Jhin into Ornn and dealing with Ornn Leona, but maybe that wasn't the case.
Lock it in.
It's a different look.
Lock it in. Yes!
Go!
Let's go Ssumday.
Okay, for Ssumday to say it's like, I am off Ornn duty. I am going to look for the 1v1 with
First
Camille.
Camille of the split for Ssumday. So we have not seen this out of him, and this is a lot of eggs in the basket. It's what we wanted to see, though, out of 100 Thieves on red side, an actual hard carry top lane counter pick.
I mean, where did it all start for 100 Thieves? It started with Ssumday. We went all the way back to 2017 when he joined the league, hops on to 100 Thieves, goes to their first ever finals appearance with them. Unfortunately, falls just short, has been searching for that title ever since. He locks in a big carry pick like Camille here in game 4.
And it's an incredibly important game. Sure, this will send you straight to the finals, but it also gives your team a different look, confidence. If you can succeed off this strategy, it's something now Team Liquid sitting, final boss in the finals, looking at this saying, hey, can we ban out Ssumday? Can we play around him?
And now this 100 Thieves saying,
And we're back for game
We're the friends,
number
Kobe.
4.
Hell
yeah. Well, here we go. This one, I hope, will bring us all the action and all the excitement of that last game. I don't know if we're going to have quite as many kills, but hey, a man can dream. And a reminder to all y'all out there, join the conversation and show your support using hashtag 6thChampion to have your comments featured on broadcast. You can be a part of the show, see your own words pop up there at the bottom part of the screen, and join in on all the fun here as we might have a
we're gonna have a wraparound.
level 1.
Does he skill E already? He probably shouldn't have anything skilled. There you go. Has the E, hook shot away.
And this is something that I think will be a really interesting talking point. The desk was obviously excited about it, talking about how this is different with Ssumday on the Camille. And we were all talking about the same thing. Isaac, I know you were expecting an Ornn. Perkz has to flash to try to get away here, slowed by the Rune Prison, but it's more like a Rune slap on the wrist. Doesn't actually lock him down.
That's 2 games in a row. Man has no flash, level 1. Just going to play without it. Last time he got first blood. This time it actually sucks more because he can't actually recall, so he does spend a charge of his corrupting potion and doesn't have time to go back to base. But yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how Ssumday actually plays this out because he hasn't played it at all in summer. He did play it 2 times in spring, so he has some experience within this year, but it hasn't traditionally been his style to be like the true carry, 400 Thieves. He's been with them a long time, and often he is more of a secondary win condition. And when you're playing this sort of style, 1-3-1, in a pretty volatile matchup up on that top side, it's a lot of pressure for him, but he didn't want to go back to the Ornn and just cede the lane.
Plus, he had to start his hook shot because of the level 1 invade, so doesn't want to contest at all on the wave, gives it completely up to GP. Blaber's on a ward right now, and so they're going to be able to easily track this jungle pathing from the side of Cloud9, and Ssumday should be able to play accordingly.
And here in mid lane, we've got Abbeddage taking control of things early. Up in the top side, Fudge having the lane push for himself. Down in bottom lane, it's not looking like it did last time around. Without the Tristana Leona going in, forcing everything here at level 1, it's not the same amount of violence.
Zven would jump in if he could, you know? Let's give him some credit. Benefit of the doubt there.
Pressing my W, just arrows keep coming out. Why
His ability sucks.
Nice volley from the Fog of War there, though. You know, I love little tips like that where he just jumps up right around the edge of the brick wall right there to fire it off, gets one through. Ssumday, by the way, is down extra CS because of that hookshot start. You know, no W to be able to scrounge up a couple as the Gangplank is pushing towards you. So this is even more rough than expected because of that level 1 invade. And if Perkz is able to just walk it out again for the duration of his flash cooldown, then the same level 1 advantage not really acquired on the other side.
You could see, though, the Fudge couldn't actually fully crash the wave, and Ssumday even just posturing forward made Fudge give up the CS on the cannon. So he missed that cannon there because Ssumday was threatening that, hey, Viego could be here. You don't know.
And they do know that both junglers started on bottom side. So currently, Viego on Crab, whereas Blaber has gone for the lane gank instead to cover for that push. You mentioned how important it is to crash it in, how important it is to get all the way to the turret. That's the cover there from Blaber. Meanwhile, Closer went right for the Scuttle Crab, so he's already at level 4, traversing down to Scuttle Crab number 2.
Exactly. It's not just control over the top side Crab, it's control over the other as well. Feels great to have that nice little bit of extra golden experience early on, and it'll give Closer the edge he needs to be able to continue playing aggressively on this champion that we've seen him do that on so many times in the past.
Absolutely. I mean, they got the flash off Perkz level 1, so mid is going to be shoved in. They had a pushing bot here with the Varus Leona, so you're going to get that bottom side Scuttle for free. He plays quickly towards the top side while Blaber had to cover, and means he's going to grab that double Scuttle here pretty early on.
Now, here in bottom lane, Vulcan and Zven are finally getting the chance to bounce the wave back a little bit, so they'll finish shoving this one out. Doesn't look like anybody's going to get punished or ganked or anything here just quite yet. You can see Closer's back out onto the map after his first shot, picking up the Sheen. Very, very effective for Viego's ability spamming style, and that means Vulcan and Zven are going to back themselves away a little bit, take their first recall as our junglers are going for their second clears.
Yeah, Closer's very happy right now. Dream opening clear for him with the double Scuttles. Big buy. Control ward for the extra vision, too, to keep track of this playmaker. Ssumday, meanwhile, trying to push his wave in on the other side and gets a decent amount of harassment on the way out. barrel minigame is always pretty fun. You know, Camille with the auto attack reset has a pretty nice extra leverage to be able to throw at 2 in a lot of those times.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so important actually winning out on those, because not only is it about preventing the damage, it's about preventing the passive reset from GP. The trial by fire is really critical in these scrappy matchups. So the timing on that is so important. I mean, if you expect the auto reset to come in from Camille, you can just do an insta-Q as soon as you drop it, and then he hits it to 1 HP, you Q it. But it's all about the mind games and trying to get a read on what your opponent wants to do. 100 Thieves, though, moving towards the top side, but Cloud9 has members in the area.
Yeah, 100 Thieves has committed a little bit here. They have Huhi and Abbeddage both rotating over with Closer, but they don't want to stick around because Cloud9 has sent some men of their own to stop this play.
And the main thing there is mid lane push. So Abbeddage kind of hovering up, but he doesn't want to give up that mid wave because Perkz pushes it all the way to tower, so cannon wave in means they have to pull their resources out. Everybody backs off. They let the Gromp go. Not willing to fight and die over it. Not willing to sacrifice mid waves for that Gromp.
I would say you got to pick your battles, but last game showed you really don't.
You don't. You can have every battle you
That's
want.
been disproven. That's old knowledge here.
Well, the old knowledge, we'll see. We'll see how well they decide to use that here in this one. Vulcan finally making his way back down to the bottom lane. And level 3 compared to the level 5 of Zven, this is one of the consequences, remember, of this heavy support roaming playstyle we've seen happen throughout playoffs, is you can fall behind the curve of the game as these supports that are spending so much of their time making these roams and these rotations. So it is very important to recognize when you're behind like that personally so you don't end up overextending. Cloud9 going for a pretty early Drake compared to what we've seen so far in this series. Normally those are going around 9 or 10 minutes or so, but Blaber and Zven working together should be able to get this one for free. And yeah, no contest from 100 Thieves. First Drake over to Cloud9.
One of the things I always find really interesting about the support roam metagame is the fact that it's incredibly difficult to track experience on the enemy support. You don't know how much experience they've been in for range, other lanes. How much have they been in for their own lane? And sometimes, as a result, you see surprising level 6s. People hit level 6 on a minion mid-fight when the enemy wasn't expecting it, and that really can change. These scraps, we can see Huhi actually very significantly ahead. That's like a full level of experience.
Yeah. Very far ahead of Vulcan, who is not feeling the best or the strongest right now, but hey, it doesn't matter about him personally. He knows how much he can contribute to the team fights as long as he will have good usage of that CC, particularly the ultimate once he gets it against the immobile carries on 100 Thieves.
Oh, I wanted to see if they're going to step in front of that cannon because it is slow pushing towards them. All right, the cannon's still alive. Dematerializer used by Vulcan to make sure that they get it. And again, the positioning is key here because you know the wave is slow pushing towards you, so you don't want to overexpose yourself to an all-in engage like that, especially since you are at that experience deficit, and your jungler showing themselves moving up towards mid-jungle duo here to get an invade off on the Raptors.
Okay, so Abbeddage has his blue buff already in the mid lane. You can see Perkz has not been handed the Cloud9 blue buff yet, so his mana is a bit more taxed. Closer makes his way over here just to guarantee that the wave crashes into the turret to allow Abbeddage to roam and not have to deal with that frozen situation. As Fudge is close to turret here, but it doesn't look like 100 Thieves are interested in him. They want to go after the Herald, but there is Cloud9 vision nearby.
And you can see this, a good 40 seconds ahead of time because 100 Thieves bottom lane was able to push that wave all the way to bottom turret and then start heading up the river. They're threatening the roam here. They even find the pick.
Perkz is in trouble. Perkz is down, and FBI claims first blood.
Heading up for a little Rift-tailed rotation, Azael, and guess what? We'll just stop off for a quick first blood on Perkz over here from the bottom lane. Was the flash on a couple seconds cooldown left? No, it has to have been back up for plenty of time because we're 9 minutes into the game. They just nailed him right there with the skill shots. Huhi into FBI ultimates.
It's just the special in the mid lane there. Buy one Shelly, get a Perkz for free.
It's a drive-through as you're going over
That's
there.
service right there.
Yeah, you're in the drive-thru. They ask if you'd like to try their new special. You know what? The special does sound pretty delicious. I'll have one, and FBI is feeling great about it. Now, Cloud9 have crashed a large wave up into the tier 1 turret. Blaber's going in for the damage, and they go in and get it done. Ssumday's already down. Cloud9 looking for even more now as Huhi wants to come up and try to help. Fudge still looking to stay alive here as Huhi goes underneath the turret. Blaber almost kills him, but almost ain't good enough. Fudge doing the same, barely getting away. Abbeddage going to be taken low. Blaber's about to die. Closer gets the kill. Goes for reset number 1. Can he find anything? Vulcan still here at level 5. Closer will not. It's 100 Thieves picking up 1, and Cloud9 doing the same.
And Perkz held his shockwave through that whole thing. He got greedy with it. He didn't want to use the shockwave on the Leona to actually kill off Huhi. I think he was looking for a carry or for a multi-man shockwave, and he held it so long, didn't find the opportunity, makes them miss out on another kill. The initial dive was great. The early aggressive play here from Blaber, ward hop in, kick, Q, GP ulti is on top after the initial trade. But at this point, just commit the ulti, take the 1 kill here. Huhi gets incredibly low, but Perkz, you can see, holding on to it this whole time and never finding a moment.
1 auto attack left on Huhi's life bar. 1 auto attack left on Fudge's life bar. So close there. They finally got the reset kill for Closer to be able to pick up a body, and so had to evacuate afterwards. But the real winner has been FBI, who got the first blood money on Perkz on their rotation up.
Yep, you can see your FTX gold chart right now. It's 300 Thieves players in those top 3 spots, and they might just get a little bit more. Vulcan loses about half health. The arrow comes flying through, but it will not find a target. So 100 Thieves will back away with just a little damage on the Cloud9 support.
And this is a really close early game. 100 Thieves having a bit of a better go of it, but with the scaling on the C9 side, it's less of a concern. And I'm more particularly concerned actually about the top lane matchup for 100 Thieves. I do think it's a pretty big deal that Camille is being held down this much. We'll be able to pick up some farm at your tower there, but you know, you have got to be fighting from a point of power if you want to be able to be involved in team fights whatsoever as Camille.
Watching those piercing arrows hit squishy targets is always a bit of a treat. You can see a lot of damage coming out of FBI here as the Herald is summoned up just for the 2-plate value.
Yeah, and that chunk is actually really important. When you see FBI throwing out his ults like this, not looking for kills, just looking for the confirmed harassment under tower, you tap your W, you get your execution damage down there, and the Ashe has to be so careful, even with the Vamp Scepter start there for Zven. Gonna take a while to heal back up.
Now, we've still got ourselves a gold lead in the favor of 100 Thieves, and now this will be the first game in this series where the first 2 Drakes do not go to the same team. Vulcan forced to flash over the wall to stay safe. 100 Thieves has the support around the objective, and they'll take it without a fight.
And again, that's adding on to this bottom pressure that we're talking about. When you throw that combo out for FBI, chunking Ashe down to 50%, pushing the wave in, then Huhi threatens over here on Nautilus because Zven is still hurt from the earlier harassment. That earns them the objective, the Dragon.
Blaber's behind him, and he just warded Tribrush. That may give him a false sense of safety here. Didn't spot him as he went over the wall to the Krugs, and if he shows up behind Ssumday, if somebody uses hookshot aggressive, he could be in trouble.
Ssumday has flash as well, too, so does have quite a few outs.
Now he's got the squad.
As well as some
He's also
teammates.
got his buddies. That is the biggest escape tool available.
Got the
Ooh, Fudge getting hit there by the flash and the hook shot, both stuck in the Hextech ultimatum, tries to get away. The oranges keep him alive. There comes your enchanted crystal arrow, so there's no follow-up available really from Huhi, and the Cloud9 top laner just barely makes his escape.
Man, the remove Scurvy there saved so long. The missing health actually making a difference there. It heals more the lower you are. He saved it to the last second there. Blaber flying in with the safeguard as well. Keeps him alive. 100 Thieves pushing, and they're pushing on the other side as well.
100 Thieves with control over 2 different lanes here. FBI grabbing more and more plate money as Fudge doesn't want to walk up and try to deal with them directly here. Instead, just farming up the Krugs, getting money wherever he can find it. 30 seconds left on these turret plates. There's still not a single turret taken down in this game, but FBI can change that very soon here with another minion wave colliding, just trying to throw out the poke, keep Fudge away. If you can manage to take off this last little bit of HP, you get the plate money for it as well. And thumbs up. There we go. First turret, 100 Thieves.
He also does a good job denying as many minions as possible. Meanwhile, topside, another attempted convergence here from 100 Thieves. Zven sees it coming, though, as they still have members up on the top triangle.
Varus from this far ahead is honestly disgusting. He's nearly 2,000 gold up on the Rish's member from Cloud9 at this point. That is going to be a big deal.
He is the gold lead.
Yeah, he is the gold lead, and that's a great place to have it. You know, when you're that far up, when you get early lethality, when you get this early power, one Q on someone like the Orianna, who can't just heal it back up, means you can't fight.
And you're talking about the Orianna. There's a lot of vulnerable targets here on the side of Cloud9. I mean, you have a bruiser jungler, you have a fighter top laner, you don't have any big true tank that's just going to be absorbing these arrows and not really caring about it. So a ton of potential for FBI to be able to carry once we get ourselves into the mid game.
Even says, someday back off that minion wave. I'm coming through. FBI, I am the gold lead. I'm also the mid minion wave. Rotating him over. Best position to have those arrows firing out from. And they still have been camping topside here with support jungle, attempting for these pass-through plays onto the Ashe, trying to take advantage of Zven, but unable to actually find one and make it connect this time around.
And I really like the focus from 100 Thieves on this side lane. Their comp is built to 1-3-1. They can 5v5 if they want, but Camille, Ryze, and the side lane are happy. And they are going to try to really emphasize getting them to a strong point. They have them out to the side lanes now. You talked about FBI parking it in mid lane, playing safe there, and they're trying to just expand this lead and doing a great job at it.
All right, second Rift Herald goes the way of 100 Thieves. The gold lead already over 2,000. Can they find any more here in mid lane? A Herald alone cannot do enough damage to kill this turret. They will need a bit of follow-up, as now Closer has found Vulcan in the topside river. Dredgeline to get himself away, keeps Vulcan alive. Abbeddage coming in. Might be able to find some damage over the wall here. Rune Prison into the Heartbreaker, and Vulcan is down. Closer picking up the kill here. 2 for him this game, and 100 Thieves is going even further. Teleport up here in the top lane. Ssumday's looking to go. Hook shot right back in. Zven with a flash away. Chains of Corruption coming out. Sven's about to go down. Shockwave not going to hit much of anything. 100 Thieves still looking to make the moves. Everybody's falling apart, and Cloud9's got no way out. 100 Thieves just bulldoze them.
That could be the straw that breaks the camel's back. 4K FTX gold advantage here, 16 minutes in, and they're going for more. Should get the tier 2 potentially here as well. 100 Thieves massively ahead at match point.
Vulcan just walking up to that black mist. The disrespect that they are showing Closer's Viego, I feel like needs to be punished like this.
Oh, yes.
And he now is off to the races. This man is so rich. He just walks up, so easy W stun from him onto Vulcan. They chase him through. His Conqueror is fully stacked, so he wants to continue the fight, even with the Q on him, and Abbeddage sets him up for the perfect execution. All he requires is a little bit of CC. Now, with the Nautilus body, they can go for the tower dive, pops off that Rift Herald as well.
And the last minion alive there Ssumday with the TP in on it. No hesitation. The charge comes through and really ends any chance of C9 getting much back in this fight.
Lot of difference in the contribution from mid laners there as well. Abbeddage providing the Rune Prison that set up Closer to get the first kill. Meanwhile, Perkz' Shockwave was a total airball, not really getting a lot done to stop the play. 100 Thieves now command greater than a 5,000 gold lead. They will take the next Drake as well, so nobody's really close to a soul here. And 17.5 minutes in, things look dire for Cloud9.
And I talked about how the Camille disadvantage could be impactful. Who cares when your mid laner is up 2,000, when your bot laner is up 3,000 gold? That is where they want that gold. FBI and Abbeddage so far ahead of their counterparts.
And when you have your Serpent's Fang plus your extra serrated Dirk, that is a ridiculous amount of lethality for Varus to have right now in the mid game. Serpent's Fang currently, in the current state of it, gives the most flat lethality, and then adding the extra little bit, these arrows from FBI will just murder people.
And speaking of that murder, look at Vulcan's health bar nearly completely removed, and they force him to flash away.
Now it makes it so easy for 100 Thieves to gain resources off the entire map. They 4-person push over into the jungle, trying to counter jungle, steal away, and even look for kills.
Closer is unafraid of anyone. He's ready to go in. There's a reason he's so good on the Viego. He just has no fear on this champion that you've got to be a psycho to really succeed on, to really conclude the best way to go about these team fights, and that's what he's doing.
Exactly. He goes in there, he goes aggressive, he finds the resets. And Huhi was trying to find an aggressive move of his own, knowing that they had no one to match Fudge on the bot side. So Fudge is able to take back a tower, get a little something for Cloud9, who has got to slow down this game because 100 Thieves are running away with it. And they're running away with Cloud9's chances at making it to the finals tomorrow.
100 Thieves having a very nice game number 4 here, looking to keep the pressure going. We're just about at 20 minutes into the game, so another big team fight win, if it happens here in the next minute or two, could be an early Baron if 100 Thieves succeed in the way they do underneath the Tier 1 turret in the top lane the last time around. Cloud9 have to find some sort of a way to stabilize because it just feels like everything is under 100 Thieves' control.
It is. Even their own jungle. Blue buff being taken away as you speak, Captain Flowers. The lead up to the Baron that's about to arrive has been laid out with a red carpet of red wards. They have all-seeing eyes here through the jungle. Cloud9 are pressured so heavily at this point. And you mentioned how early in the game it is for this Baron, but even being able to bait in through the jungle into these Varus arrows that are constantly thrown out, you have to go down the checklist and think about how easy it is for 100 Thieves to turn off of Baron. They would never even want to tank it up and stay on it. They're always looking for Varus, Leona ultimates, and Camille follow-ups. So that's why Cloud9 are playing so cautiously right now. They have to. They have so many things to be worried about, and you have to go in numbers to go get these vision, these ward lines, 2-person just to get one inside the Baron pit.
I mean, it's so scary because when someone is this far ahead, you know that there is that real threat of them rushing down the Baron if you ignore it too much. But you also know they probably just want to turn and kill you. So,
yeah,
you know, you have to show up, but you have to show so much respect for that potential of engage, and that requires a lot of prep, using the hawk shot to get vision, to make sure it's safe to move forward, pushing outside lanes, waiting for 100 Thieves to answer, and then going in.
I want to also lay this out ahead of time because if it ends up happening, it will actually just close the series.
Yeah.
100 Thieves, you can push your minion wave out first, giving you 30 seconds, and they have Ryze. Ryze can realm warp everybody instantly over to the Baron and burn it down. So you have even less time to react than versus a normal team. So hawk shots are just being spammed over and over. There's a hit.
Okay, Blaber getting locked down. He's in some trouble, and that is the first kill. Make it 2 for 100 Thieves. One of them's the enemy jungler, so it's time for a bit of a Baron play, my friends.
This one is not close, fellas. 100 Thieves can already see their spot in the finals. Close is going to start that Baron up, and after those 2 quick picks, it should look easy. Arrow comes through, and the Hail Mary from Cloud9. Can they get a miracle steal?
Well, they've got the Gangplank ulti here, just pouring some damage into the health bars. Huhi and Closer are both very low, but the Baron is also about to die. FBI is going to take some damage from Zven. Fudge coming in there. Ssumday's around on the flank. Perkz getting the kill onto Huhi, but FBI is able to take down Zven. Closer gets away with 100 HP. Cloud9, they trade 1 for 1. They stop the Baron in a miracle hold against 100 Thieves.
They salvage it because 100 Thieves don't instantly turn. They have Ssumday teleporting in back, so Ssumday's really far away on the Camille, and Cloud9 save it for now.
And GP is so difficult to just commit to Baron 2, but they're going for a fight now.
Ssumday's ready to go in. He finds Fudge. He finds a lot of damage. He goes for the Hextech ultimatum, but now he gets locked down. Fudge is ready to return some damage here. Is he going to have enough? It looks like he does. Ssumday is out of the picture. Abbeddage is about to die next. 100 Thieves are just doing a conga line down mid lane, straight to the Death Depot. Closer looking for something else, but he won't find it.
Ssumday was way too early there. Yes, Abbeddage was coming on the collapse, but you're in there 1v3. You are behind the GP. You are not ahead of the GP. The rest of your team are the strong ones. You give over multiple free kills there. The Baron is stopped. The mid lane tower is taken, and now they're going for the dragon.
Greed is a deadly sin. The 100 Thieves are being punished for it. Cloud9 surging back here. Dragon being burned down as well as they head into the river. Closer looks like he's got moves planned.
Okay, Closer jumps in, finds a bit of damage onto Vulcan, then uses his ulti defensively to get away. Yes, you had the backup damage from FBI, but if Closer kept going in there, he was a dead man. We got our Drakes all tied up. We got Cloud9 trying to fight back.
And it feels like it's going to be all about Fudge for Cloud9. The GP ulti stopping 100 Thieves at the Baron, then getting the double kill there around mid lane. He is so fed. Look at the items compared to Ssumday. He's an entire Sterix up.
What is the price of back-to-back blunders? Well, it's 2,000 gold and a dragon, my friends. That's what just happened off the 100 Thieves Baron turn. And then this. Ssumday going for the 1v3 because they've got Ryze coming up. Minimap, you can see Abbeddage had teleported in, but it just started too early. and Ssumday getting hit by that initial hook. Vulcan is the one that deserves a lot of credit for pulling him back in. When he had gone in on Gangplank, Vulcan hits the hook. That's why they're able to get that kill. Abbeddage had teleported very deep into the red buff quadrant of the jungle, but wasn't able to get there in time, and those are 2 force errors there from 100 Thieves.
I mean, it's such a costly error because not only are you giving over the gold, giving over the mid lane tower, you stop the snowball to Soul, you buy more time for Cloud9 to catch up to complete items here that they desperately need.
Very important point here for Cloud9. 24, 25 minutes into this game, 100 Thieves was running away with it. But I'm so glad that we don't just get to see a quick stomp. Nothing against 100 Thieves, but after last weekend, after 2 back-to-back best-of-5s going the distance, I want to see more of it here in our final 2 series of this summer. Cloud9, you can see the items are starting to look scary. You already talked about Gangplank, but as soon as the Sterix is done on Lee Sin, that'll be a huge power spike for Blaber for trying to make some of these plays that can bring Cloud9 further back to an even game state.
I mean, really, if you can keep Varus out of the fight, it's getting pretty even, right? The difference right now is just Varus and Ashe, and it's easier said than done to keep the Varus out of the fight.
Yeah,
but if you can find skirmishes or 2v2s on other sides of the map, like you can get advantages. The enormous edge that Fudge has over Ssumday is going to be critical in this game.
Muramana transformed. Lethality is in for FBI, so yes, those arrows definitely hurt.
Oh, but over the wall, they're going in after Vulcan here yet again. Blaber could be the target now. Perkz losing half HP, but a bunch coming right back into Huhi. First kill goes on to Blaber. FBI's the one to claim it. Can't keep the Varus out of the fight that easily, as Abbeddage and Closer both backing away. 100 Thieves took some damage, but they got the only kill there in the fight.
One of the things is, with all the damage that 100 Thieves have and all the possibilities here, it is fairly costly to start up and not be able to finish Baron attempts. So yes, they did take out the enemy jungler, but they were chunked down in the process, and so they have to heal up first. They then are able to transition into the Baron and see if they can burn it down quick enough. 5,000 health and counting.
ulti.
No GP ulti, no jungler. This is 100 Thieves Baron that Cloud9 can say nothing about. And it's huge for the tempo and the pace of this game.
That is massive for them. We'll see how much they can get in the side lanes if they want to go towards the 1-3-1 with this Baron, try to extend the gold lead, knock down some more of these towers. They're in a good position to do it.
Just a little bump in the road in the last 5 minutes there for 100 Thieves. Right back on trap. They grab the steering wheel. Course corrected here. With Baron buff, it's so much easier to play this split push. You've got Ryze. Abbeddage is extremely strong for them. Even though he had to use Realm Warp there, does have his teleport available, and they can transition over to the side lane right after.
It's crazy to think that we're this far in. It's nearly a 5K gold lead, and that's literally just the difference between FBI and Zven. Yeah, the difference is insane. You know, it's about 4.4K.
I mean, it is literally 2 items right now, which is, as much gold numbers matter, 2 full items.
And the most important part, one of those items is a Guardian Angel that he just completed. FBI and Closer are both still at 0 deaths so far in this game, and that's going to be very important. FBI can now not be focused down properly because of the need to kill him twice. It'll give him more confidence to play forward. It'll give the entire team more confidence to play around what if he gets engaged on. And 100 Thieves are now confident to keep this push going, keep looking for more of these objectives, more of this gold lead, and they take down the mid lane tier 2 easily.
Wrapping on Perkz.
Perkz could be in some trouble, but instead it's back in mid lane. FBI gets caught. Abbeddage gets caught. Both of the carries from 100 Thieves have been caught. Gangplank ulti comes down to stop the escape route. Zven flashes forward, puts an arrow in his chest. A double kill for the Cloud9 AD carry.
Guess you don't have to keep the Varus out of the fight if the Varus is the one dead right at the beginning of it. They go straight at the gold lead, Cloud9. They get some bounties off the table, and they can push up to the dragon.
Man, off of that, Zven, 2.2K in his pockets to spend. He just got paid off of that fight. Zven is nearly going to have a full item completed. They are going to move to Soul Point, and Perkz escape on the other side of the map in the 1v2.
Another bump in the road, baby, and this is a big one.
What the hell kind of a road is this? This road is garbage. They haven't fixed the potholes in this thing in years. Where are my taxes going?
All right.
Cloud9 are still finding ways to hold on.
We got to see the setup for that again, because that one is going to be majorly costly. Last time around, the price was 2,000 gold and a dragon. This one is very close. So Perfect arrow there from Zven, nails FBI, then gets kicked in by Blaber, and it's both carries, 2-for-1 deal, plus the Guardian Angel that Flowers had been pointing out. So whenever you get a kill on one of these fed carries that has a Guardian Angel, not only are you getting this big gold bounty, not only are you taking down this carry, but so much of the worth of that item is in the revive, and it won't be there for the ensuing fight.
Absolutely. And FBI, he thought he had the sidestep there, but didn't quite get it. And he's punished so heavily as Blaber's behind him on the wraparound there. And Cloud9 are getting closer and closer to the point in the game where they can truly contest in just the straight-up 5v5s. They have a powerful comp. As Perkz approaches level 16, Fudge is already there, and Perkz is working towards his death cap. To me, that's kind of like my item checkpoint that I think Cloud9 want to hit, and then they're going to be ready to go. Even if you are down a bit, with 16 on Orianna, 16 on GP, if you hit those ultis correctly.
And the other thing I'm looking at, this next 3.5 minutes, very important for 100 Thieves, because if Cloud9 get themselves that Ocean Soul, we know that on average a soul adds about 1,000 gold worth of value to every player, so 5,000 gold to the team. There's the whole advantage right there. Even if you just only have one death between now and then, if it's right before the Drake and you lose that, that soul could be huge.
Especially when most of the gold is on a poke Varus. All of a sudden, your poke doesn't really matter anymore.
Who gets hit with the arrow first? These Varus arrows, yeah, those ones are painful, but the Ashe arrows, you die within that stun. So, tale of two AD carries, tale of two skill shots. And guess what? The Baron, 1 minute 48 seconds left on the timer. Still full map control for 100 Thieves, so they can continue to push these side waves. They can continue to starve Cloud9 of vision, but it doesn't matter. If Cloud9 are able to hit that engage and arrow straight down the lane and follow it up with the Nautilus hook, they can fight their way back into this game, back into this series. They're on soul point, as you say, so the rewards for the first couple blunders from 100 Thieves have been big, but the rewards, if they make another one, will be huge.
All right, it's still a Rift owned by 100 Thieves, though, as they will keep Cloud9 forced back on the steps of their own base. They will continue laying down these lines of control wards to keep Cloud9 afraid. Enchanted Crystal Arrows fired off somewhere, but not near enough to any 100 Thieves health bars to really be a problem. Fudge going for a little bit of damage here with the barrels. Leona ulti only gets a slow. No hard CC here. Abbeddage was on the flank in case the fight really broke out, but neither side can find their engage.
Cloud9 get the disengage there, and they're getting to this point where, you know, almost have death cap gold here now. Just 500 more for Perkz to be able to complete that. Could get it before this potential Ocean Soul fight. My question is, will 100 Thieves really try to press the issue at Baron prior to that? Will they be willing to go for that potential Baron, maybe even in trade for the Soul, to try to win the game off of that big power point?
100 Thieves still with that 4,500 gold lead, still controlling this game, still no deaths on their star player here in the jungle with Closer, Wits End, Sterix, Divine Sunderer. You can see, though, the FTX gold chart here is still an ocean of red, despite the fact that it goes to low tide a couple of times here. It's not like things are swinging all the way back into Cloud9's favor.
But it was 5K at about 15 minutes. It is now 5K at 32 minutes. And that means so much less of a comparative advantage there over Cloud9. Cloud9 has a fighting chance.
I think the next 50 seconds before this dragon spawns are going to be incredibly critical here. Baron control has nothing to be answered on the other side of the map in preparation for this, and you can see them focusing on getting your vision inside, trying to hit one of these skill shots.
Oh, it's a deep DB flank.
Okay, they're ready to go. It's 100 Thieves wanting to make the move, but Cloud9's ready to turn it around and go for the fight here right now. Closer going to be your target. Defensive ulti getting away. Ssumday coming around from behind. Perkz going to be under pressure. Shockwave able to find one. FBI is going to be taken low, but can they find the kill? No, they cannot. Cloud9's getting run over. FBI is going to be peeled for. Double kill back over to him, and Vulcan's the last man standing. 100 Thieves stand tall!
And for the first time since they created the team in 2018, 100 Thieves are going to be running it back to finals.
They march down mid lane. They make the call for the flank play. Cloud9 responds. They tried to face them in open ground first, but 100 Thieves have the outplay. It is a redux. It is a reload of that 2018 Spring Final. 100 Thieves and Team Liquid. We'll see you tomorrow.
What a final fight there by 100 Thieves. The slimmest of margins. Closer, life stealing off minions, surviving the final tick of Ignite with single-digit health. Abbeddage barely surviving. FBI down below 10%. That was a 5-0 in what could have gone either way.
What a series here from the 100 Thieves. And they've shown that they have so much more to offer than a single style as well.
Yes.
So many problems that you have to solve when you're facing this team. I think the second time around here versus Team Liquid, the rematch is going to be a different story. This one is gonna be hype.
I'm so ready for this. The first split that this organization participated in, they get to the finals, they go up against Team Liquid, and they got slapped 3-0. I remember being there in Miami. I remember seeing it go down. I remember that was how it all happened. But this 100 Thieves does not look like a 0-3 type of team to me. This is not a fresh new org to League of Legends. This is not these guys thrown together under these new colors, under this new banner to see what they can do. This roster has shown some awesome gameplay and some incredible improvement throughout this year, and I'm excited to see them against Team Liquid tomorrow.
Yeah, they're at a much higher level than they were the last time around. I think they are legit championship contenders here against TL, and this was just such a crazy end. It felt like Cloud9 had been scraping and clawing their way back into that game, but such confidence from 100 Thieves to take the fight. And by the slimmest of margins, I mean, I want to see that fight again. That was crazy.
It was incredible.
Closer's healing off the minions, fighting for his life against every ranged minion auto attack that's coming against him. He survives. No kill on the side there for Cloud9.
Oh, here we go again.
So critical. Here's the deep teleport.
Yeah, so they go on to Closer initially, and he's barely able to get out of there. On the retreat, look at his health. Look at Huhi's health. Look at the health bars here. The shockwave catching FBI. Fudge flashes in, but cannot finish him off as they all turn immediately onto him. Then Blaber, Huhi is blocking for FBI there to absorb the Q, and he survives as well.
And Abbeddage, yeah, just kills off Zven right as he's about to go down, uses the Zonias. Really clean stuff, and you don't have to go as far back as 2018. Just go right back to Team Liquid, sending 100 Thieves into the losers bracket of this tournament. They want revenge right now. That one was a close one. This one as well.
That whole team fight, man. League of Legends is a game where the smallest things can make the biggest difference, and I feel like we just got to see a whole handful of that in this final fight between Cloud9 and 100 Thieves. And it's not like this was a stomp or anything either. I mean, These games were very close for a very long time. And I think the fact that 100 Thieves was able to prevail in clutch moments like the Baron fight in game number 1 really shows how scary they can be. But now it's time for us to join the Tigress on stage.